All right, Hayden, so going into the new season, it starts out really intense. Tell me how it was to shoot this episode, because it was definitely had a different feel than a typical Foster's episode.
Yeah, it was even when we weren't rolling, it felt really intense. Like even when you're offset and you're hanging out, you still feel that kind of pressure and that heavy feeling that kind of weighs down on you, because you come off set and in your mind you're still like, we're in a school shooting. Like the school still looks like it's on lockdown. You still have people who you feel, you've got SWAT guys walking around, you've got police everywhere. Like it still feels as though you're in that environment and that you're around all those types of people.
What is Jude going through in the first episode? Because we know, he's been kissing a girl, still thinking about Connor a little bit. But talk about where's his heart at, I guess, at the start of the season.
I don't think he knows. I think that he wants to be happy. He wants to have someone to kind of fill that hole that Connor left. He wants someone to be there for him, but he doesn't know who, and so he turns to Taylor because he knows that in the past that she's been into him, and he knows that, that they have this history together, that they've been really good friends, and I think that he turns to her like, hey, look, if anyone's gonna be down with this, I know you are, so I'm looking to you to help me out, and I don't think that he really gets the help he expects. She tries to kind of open his mind up to everything and show him a different side of religion and some different people that are, with going down the same path as he is, or have gone down, or, have experienced some hardships, but turn towards God and other types of religions in order to help.
How does it feel for Jude when he hears people talking about him? Because people in school start talking. I'm guessing the family, once they get wind of this, might start talking. How does that affect him?
It's kind of funny that there's some interesting scenes with him being like uncomfortable, not really wanting to talk about it, and not doing so. I think that he's super confused, and so for people to come to him and kind of ask questions about it and try and have him explain, he can't. He doesn't really know. He doesn't know what to tell them, so he just tells them nothing. It's kind of hard when you're trying to figure stuff out yourself and someone else is trying to figure out what you're figuring out, and then it's a whole weird thing, and then there's confusion. So it's really confusing with him being invested in all of this, and the family kind of notices, but they're like, what can we do? What do we go with this? What do we say? How do we help? And he's not really asking for that. So.
Yeah. And for a society that's very intent on putting labels on people, it's kind of as in some ways Jude probably hasn't quite figured it out, even though he's said things in the past where he feels like he might fall. But
right.
I mean, does that continue a little bit, where he's worried about labels and that sort of thing?
I mean, in a way, I think that he's a little bit, more accepting of that. He's a little bit more confident. He knows who he is, and he's not really ashamed to be gay or this or that. Because he knows he's proud of himself, and he's gay, and he's happy about that. I love that Jude has become so accepting of this, and then he's going to throw it away on a whim that God doesn't want him to be gay. So it's so aggravating for me personally to see him do that, because I'm like, you idiot, no, don't do that, like, stop. But I'm on this journey with him. I'm figuring this stuff out, so I'm there for him, and I really hope that he turns back to being happy and just being himself and not trying to be someone else or pretend that he's into something.
Okay. For the Johnner fans who will always be Johnner fans, is there any is Connor there either in spirit, or can you talk anything about Connor in the new season?
In a way, during the lockdown, Jude does have that freak out moment of being in a scary place and not knowing what's going to happen or what's going on, and so he does get a little worried and looks for someone to lean on. He doesn't really have anyone, and so he kind of looks to Connor because of their history, but knows that there's nothing there. Okay. There's nothing left, but he misses that, I mean, it was his first love. He's not going to be like, all right, see you later, and then move on, that's going to linger. That pain, he's going to feel that for some time, and he's going to remember that, and he's going to wish that Connor was still there. He's going to wish that none of that ever happened, so that the breakup, he wants it to be happy, so we will see a little bit of him in spirit and feel the presence and the effect he has on Jude.
Will we see Jude maybe act out a little bit because he's going through a lot emotionally? Talk about that a little bit.
It's very fun. Yeah, there's some fun stuff like today. I mean, we're doing a lot of crazy scenes in which Jude gets down this kind of mischievous path, and he starts doing some crazy stuff, which I was even shocked to read about. I know that Jude's, he stole a bracelet in the past, and he's said some harsh stuff to Callie in moments, but this was still really, really shocking for me. But it's been so much fun to film. It's been so much fun to do, and just being able to play with directors and castmates and go along and have these moments has been so awesome. And that I'm really, really excited that Jude has had this. That he's not, just kind of that he's secure enough in his home. He's happy with who he is, and now he's getting into trouble. So it's kind of a good thing, in my opinion, because that means that he's happy enough to start doing stupid stuff.
That's good.